everybody, and welcome to the TrialSite News Farrago podcast. I am Erin, your host, and today we're diving into something that sounds like science fiction, but is becoming science fact. 3D bioprinting, and my guest is Vidmantas Sakalys, and he is CEO and co-founder of Vital3D Technologies, a Lithuanian biotech startup working on ways to bioprint tissues and one day even whole organs. So imagine being able to print a kidney when there's not enough donors, which is the case now, actually, but that's the vision. So I'm excited to have you here and hear more about you. And with that said, do you mind telling our listeners a little more about you and the work you do?
Yeah, hello, everybody. I'm delighted to be here and to share a bit about what we are doing and about our vision. Actually, everybody maybe one thinks that I am from biotech field, or at least from medicine or for something like that. But really, my education comes from computer engineering science, and I'm actually networks admin and sales guy that was working within IT field for 20 years. And like 10 years ago, somehow, yeah, life wanted me to take a bigger challenge and brought me to laser field. So I started to lead the laser microfabrication startup at that time. That was 3 people and grow it during 7 years into 36. And where I met my colleague Linas Vinašauskas, that is currently CTO of Vital3D Technologies. And like 4 years ago, we agreed to start our own journey into more kind of narrow field to apply the lasers in bioengineering. So 4 years ago, Vital3D Technologies were born with the idea to bioprint large-scale tissues and maybe organs for transplantation at some point. As you properly mentioned, the kidney is the organ that is in biggest demand currently, and who knows, maybe we will print kidneys in something like 15 years from now.
Yes, and I actually told someone that I was going to be speaking with you, and his first question was, "Are they working on the liver?" So I said, "Well, let me ask him."
Yeah, actually, yeah, this would be even easier because kidney actually is more sophisticated organ to be printed. Liver is easier to print. But at the moment, we are working on even easier task, that's bioprinting the skin. Because skin is the organ that kind of is needed for most of us. We suffer something, or we do some operations, and or we have like diabetes with things that are not healing. So we decided, because we are a startup, we need to have some commercial product on our market faster than 15 years from now. So we choose the bioprinted skin and started to work on patches that are meant to heal the dogs. Why veterinary field? Because it's much easier to enter for small startup than like we, because the regulation is much easier to apply and to do. So we started from veterinary, and currently we are developing the veterinary patches for the dogs to heal the wounds that are left after the chirurgical tumor removal operations. So this is our first product that we expect to hit the market next year. And from there, we will start with growing the tissues and doing bigger tissues for transplantation.
So skin.
Yep.
That's fascinating. And that's coming before 15 years or 10 to 15 years when we might have the kidney or the liver. So this is right around the corner.
Yeah, it is so. So you understand that kidney is very difficult
Yes, of course.
organ to print. The good thing is actually that most of the scientists agree that there are no principal obstacles to bioprint any organ for transplantation. It's just time and effort, how much time we have and how much effort we will put into it. The topic is very complex, I would say, and we are not alone to working on this topic. There are a lot of small groups around the world working from academia and private companies developing different organ fabrication, so to say, technologies. Yes. But the thing is that the topic is so difficult. You start from the ability to kind of print vasculature, because vasculature is in big tissues is needed, is a must. Otherwise, cells will not get nutrition. So you need to feed each cell. And that's one of the biggest challenges currently, to bioprint something bigger, because, for example, bones, large like vascular, like arteries vascular, they are already printed. But if you want to print some soft tissues where the small capillaries exist, there are none of these big, so to say, big tissues.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in here printed for a second, because yes, for people who picture a plastic 3D printer, how does a bioprinter actually print living tissues? I feel like a lot of people out there might have this image of like a kidney coming off a conveyor belt, because this is foreign to a lot of people, including me. So can you give us a simple explanation? How the heck do you do this?
Yeah, okay. So, so actually, simple explanation would be that really bioprinting is not just printing. It's printing and growing. So what do you do actually? You do have a polymer that is like in a gel format. In our case, it's what we do with a laser. We use to shine into the polymer and harden it. So it's kind of, you use a pencil and to shine in a polymer and you harden and you create the scaffold. So like printing it. So by printing that scaffold from polymer, you can go two ways. Either you print the scaffold and you seed the cells on top of it, and the cells just connect to the scaffold and starts to grow and forms tissue. Or you mix the cells with the polymer and you get so-called bioink. So when you print from the polymer with the bioink, you don't need to seed because the cells are already there and they connect to the scaffold. So what do? You print scaffold, then you put in a bioreactor for a couple of weeks, and cells start to grow around the scaffold and to form the tissue. So the idea is you print something that cells can attach to, and then cells start to form the live organ around it. And the scaffold later on can disappear, be like biodegradable. So after some time, then the cells don't need the support. So that's the main idea about bioprinting. Different bioprinting technologies, they bioprint differently, but in fact, it's actually giving the scaffold to the cells to grow the organ.
That was great. So it's printing and growing, which I think you helped people get the picture in their head.
Yeah, because you cannot put the cells and you to print some live organs.
Some people might think that though, you know, when you hear bioprinter, you're like, well, what's coming out of the printer next? A heart, a tissue, or a lung? All right, now you also can possibly print tumors or mini tumors. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually it is. And currently we are experimenting with some small tumors together with National Cancer Institute here in Lithuania. We print the scaffolds for them, and what they do, they just put the tumor cells on it. And there are a lot of tumor cells that usually do not like to group in tumors. But given our scaffold, when we print, they start to grow in big tumors. So it's kind of starting to connect to each other and to form the tumor. So that's one of the researches we are doing together with local researchers here.
And that can potentially help doctors find the right cancer drugs, to attack that tumor. So I wanted you to sort of talk about what's wrong with the current cancer models. Like, what would your technology add to the field that is missing?
So currently, the models are okay, but there are some cancer lines that are difficult to model. The ones that usually don't, when you take the tumor cancer cells, in a lab environment, they are not forming any tumors because they don't like to stick to each other. And what our scaffold helps them, it helps to connect the cancer cells between each other and form the tumor so kind of reproduce the tumor in lab environment. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for some specific cancer lines. So that's where our help for cancer research comes in. So we help reproduce the tumor in a lab environment.
So I know you mentioned before, the organs might be 10 to 15 years off, but can you tell us a little more about the complexities that might go into that and a potential timeline that you may have thought about or your team may have thought about in terms of, okay, we're going to print a whole organ and then we're going to be able to transplant this into a person?
Yeah, so as I said, there are a lot of challenges on this road. First of all, the technological challenges from the moment you want to print something larger, some larger tissue, you need to understand that each cell needs to get the nutrition. And for that, you need the vasculature. And vasculature is needed from very beginning because you are printing from live cells and you need these live cells to keep alive, not to start any necrosis within tissue. So you need to print something. For example, if you want to print kidney, you need to print mostly in like 24 to 48 hours and start pumping nutrition inside the scaffold with these cells through a vasculature system. So that means that first of all, you need to print the vasculature, understand how to print the vasculature, how to connect it to some pumping system to pump the nutrition through it. And then you can start printing around the cells, around the scaffold itself. So that's a technological issue. While another biomedical issue is to understand how the cells are growing and how you can get different types of cells, not trying to print from 20, for example, different cell types, because kidney, for example, needs 20 different cell types. And if you try to imagine that you need to print from all these 20 different types of cells, mixing them in one printer, it's kind of technological hell, I would say.
Charlie Foxtrot.
So yeah, so you need to find out how to maybe print from the stem cells, and then by one another mean convert stem cells into needed cells and at needed location, so to say. Some cells become like vasculature, some cells like epithelium, and the other. Yeah. So you need to find the method how to convert them. Then afterwards, if you already done with these two challenges, there are challenge of replicating the functions. Kidney functions are quite well known. So from that perspective, kidney is good organ to start printing. But from the technological point of view, kidney is a lot of nephrons, and you need print each nephron separately and somehow connect them. So it's another challenge how to do that. Easiest organs to print could be the ones that have not so much cells, like skin or maybe pancreas, that has less cells. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So
yeah, and I think that actually the skin is already under development. There are like I think 4 patents, patented skins. All of them are used for cosmetic industry to test the cosmetics. No, none of them are used to heal the people, but pancreas, something like that, will be the first organ to be printed and to be implanted, I think. My personal view, yeah.
All right.
So, and on top of that, actually, you do have regulatory challenge, because when you print the something, you will need to show that it's working, that it's safe to be implanted into human.
Yeah.
And you will have to go through all these regulatory approvals, certifications path. And currently, there are no specific regulations for bioprinted organs. There are regulations for medical devices and regulations for drugs. And these bioprinted organs fall something in between of these two. So will be big challenges how to evaluate and to accept bioprinted organs for operational purposes.
How would you suggest they evaluate it? Have you ever thought of that?
Not yet. We are not yet into this. We are too small to start negotiating. We are still trying.
Because there might be some regulators listening to this and they'll take notes.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe not.
The thing is that, the target, I think, would be anyway to print from the patient-specific cells, so you don't have any issues regarding the immunity suppression and all that of all these things. So that's why, for example, we are developing the system that could be very patient-friendly and to do like patient-specific jobs. So take the cells from a patient and use them in a printer, not using any other patient or animal cells or whatever you can suggest. So if this will be the case, then at least regulation will be a bit simpler, because you're using just specific cells from that specific patient that you're trying to heal. And for regulators, yes, it's really it will be really big challenge.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine. Do you think we'll ever get to the point where you can print a brain?
Brain should be easier to print, because it's it's like I imagine I just joking, because easier from printing point of view, but because materials like gel or something like that, but from point of view, what kind of memories you put into the
I feel like for a moment I feel like I'm going to the Wizard of Oz. I'm like, I just need a new heart, I need a new brain.
Yeah, but can you order the memories actually before you ask for new brain?
Right, but it might be a good name for a company that's in the bioprinting of organs, like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
But you'd have to see the show. Have you seen it? No.
What?
The Wizard of Oz. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah. It was a very long time ago.
Yes.
When I was a kid.
Yeah. I same, but I still watch it every now and then.
Okay.
So what excites you most about this field?
Actually, it excites me how fast it's moving. Currently, the things that we already bioprint and use for like everyday use, for example, dental implants, everything, the things that are hard, not requires the live cells, are already in full use everywhere. So yeah, you can print even bones and put them. So from that perspective, it's really very interesting. I just got like live discussion here in Lithuania in one studio, and the partner to discuss was a dentist, and he was explaining how much of dentistry job is already done with printers, three-dimensional printers, and how much things we already print. Oh, I thought, okay, so it's like breakthrough in hard like things for the humans printing. We use already a lot. So I imagine will be next step will be the soft tissues will be started to print and used for operations very soon. So I'm excited how things are moving fast and how the people are developing the things. So and the future, it's very, very exciting.
And if folks want to read more about your company, do you have a Twitter or an X or a Facebook or Instagram?
Sorry, we just have a LinkedIn account. We are very
Oh, the
serious.
professional one. Yes, you're very serious.
Yeah, the thing is that for company such small as we are, we can only have one social account. Otherwise, it's very difficult to just to keep. So we have a LinkedIn and we post things on there. Good part is that field is very interesting. Bad part is that actually you don't have too much visual content to post because you cannot post still printed kidney. We don't have it, so you print some kind of small structures, and it's not clear what you see in the photo.
Well, I like, what is that? No, I get it. You have to be careful with that.
Yeah, and
What is this company printing?
you cannot post the really terrific things like dog legs that are in blood and using our leg skin. So these are not very nice things to look at. So we are a bit limited with visual content.
I totally understand that. Maybe some kind of design guru or, someone who does like placements can help you out
Yeah,
to
something
make
like
it
that.
look,
Maybe
yeah, or
we
like
need to
very,
be animated stuff. Yeah.
animated. Yes, animated and very careful labeling so people can
Yeah.
kind of know what they're looking. I actually think visuals would be cool to see, because I feel like it's probably very abstract in a lot of people's minds. So, the more like, oh, this is step one, this is a very early step, but this is how it's done. I think it would be really cool. So, from like a SciComs scientific communications perspective,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be into it. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
let's.
So you can follow us on LinkedIn. So we
Oh, okay,
post
we'll
something.
follow you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
TrialSite News also has an X page where we do live spaces, they're called. So, and we bring on experts and researchers. So if you yourself are ever interested in doing one of those, I'm sure our listeners would love it. They could ask you questions, and everybody has their organ that they may want to ask about. But if you are ever interested in doing that, let us know for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, the shortage of for example, kidney is so big that like
Yeah.
2 years ago when we started to kind of appear in social media.
Yes.
One guy from Portugal just wrote me an email saying that his sister is already 40 years on difficult problems with both of her kidneys, and can I help her? Maybe he can use our technology. I had sorry, we are just at the beginning of the road, so I cannot.
Yes. That's tough.
Yeah.
There is David Chrisman. He started the Great Social Experiment, where amazing. He was a filmmaker and started this experiment, and he was recruiting living donors for kidneys, and different because you could live fine with just one kidney. And it was just fascinating, the stories that he has produced showing people donating a kidney and the process, because it's actually pretty rigorous in terms of the evaluation. They have to be in very good shape and health. and then it shows them, okay, before the process, and then, oh, they're doing fine. That said, I don't know, a lot of people may want to keep both of their kidneys, but the point I'm bringing it up is that it is a shortage. So like, living donors is something that they're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only about like 1/3 of waiting list for kidney are getting one
Yeah.
in a year. So it's
And
really, really big shortage.
yeah, yeah. He would be an interesting person to talk to. Maybe I'll connect you guys for sure. Well, thank you so much for this. Is there anything else that if you want to add or tell our listeners? I'll make sure I'll include your LinkedIn and your company website so they can go there. But
Yeah, so I don't know. We are interested to make this world better, but all our listeners, you just take care about yourself and live a good life and preserve your health.
yes, amen to that. I think those are great words to end on. Take care of your health. It's true though. It is so true, and we say it all the time. You don't respect your health until it's gone. Most of us,
Yeah,
and it's so true. But
it is.
it's hard to internalize that when you're out there in the moment, just living, your carefree lifestyle or whatever it is. Not you, but you in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, all right. Well, I think this is great. I think it's fascinating. Please stay connected and keep TrialSite News and the Farrago podcast in the loop. And to our listeners, I hope you subscribe and definitely check out trialsitenews.com, where there's articles on the latest research and scientific discoveries, as well as opinion pieces. So check it all out. And you can also write one if you're interested. All right.